this football player was literally assaulted on camera, and as a result, he was the one that got arrested by the end of it. This story was sent to me over the past weekend while I was on vacation. I'm sorry it took so long for me to get it to you guys, but it's an absolutely insane story. I'm gonna break it down for you guys over here. Before we get to the content, of course, this video literally contains assault, so it's probably gonna get demonetized. So just make sure to leave a like just so you can really give me a push in the algorithm on YouTube. And I have a pretty exciting announcement for you guys. If any of you guys happen to have a TikTok, we've been making a very big push on that platform. If you follow me on TikTok, you'll probably get some nice previews of my upcoming content. Like, we're dropping 8 players that are in the absolute worst situations this week, but we already have 3 of the players' stories condensed into 1-minute shorts on my TikTok. And now that we get all that out of the way, break! To understand this story, we need to introduce you to one individual. His name is Brandon Langley. Now, Brandon Langley was drafted in the 3rd round of the 2017 NFL Draft, and he plays cornerback. Now, I want to just start this off by saying that in of itself is a remarkable achievement. The man was able to sign a 4-year, $3.17 million contract with the Denver Broncos and got a $706,000 signing bonus. Unfortunately for Brandon Langley, whether it had to do with his talent or just the situation he was in, it didn't work out for him. It's important to note that Langley was drafted in the 3rd round, and he was joining a team that already had the likes of Chris Harris Jr. and Bradley Roby at the cornerback positions, and was joining a Denver Broncos team that had a horrific offense, but for the most part was trying to carve out an identity on the defensive side of the ball. Unfortunately for Langley, he would get waived just 5 months after being drafted in the 3rd round, and then he would get signed to the Denver Broncos practice squad. Now, this is very unfortunate because 3rd round picks typically are expected to develop into full-time players at some point, but that wasn't the case for Langley. He would get promoted to the active roster that November, however, but after not experiencing the most success, he would convert to a wide receiver in March of 2019. As a result of this, he would get waived on August 31st, 2019, and that was the end of his NFL career. He would then try out for the XFL and was drafted in the 7th round of the 2020 XFL draft before a brief stint with the Seattle Seahawks practice squad until more recently joining the CFL. He currently is signed with the Calgary Stampeders, and for the most part, that is everything you need to know about Brandon Langley's football career. Now, the reason I'm bringing all this up is there's this viral video that went out in regards to Brandon Langley and a United Airlines employee. Now, I wanted to just bring something to your guys' attention because the video that is currently going the most viral doesn't show the entire video in its entirety. I mean, as a matter of fact, there's 18 seconds of this video clipped off. So I'm going to show you the video that is going viral, which completely changes the narrative, might I add. So you can see in the very beginning of the video what it seems like, and this is the video that is currently going viral, the United Airlines employee starts the fight by assaulting Brandon Langley in the very beginning. We don't really get much context into the situation. We don't know if the United Airlines employee is making Brandon Langley pay a few extra bucks because his luggage is too heavy, or we don't know if the United Airlines employee said something really messed up to Langley. This is the video that is currently going viral, and as a result, for the most part, you would think that the United Airlines employee that looks like has a decent amount of size on Langley would win this fight, but you're in for a huge surprise, and this is why you should never mess with a football player, whether he's in the NFL or in the CFL, because look at this. Bro, I mean, this is something that I'd expect to see in the WWE. When I first saw this, I actually thought it was scripted because look at the way that the employee takes the tumble. I mean, he falls over the conveyor belt. This is like something you would imagine in the WWE, then falls over and out of nowhere, blood appears on his face. And that's not even the end of it, because afterwards the employee gets up and you can see the man just looks absolutely jacked up, goes back to Langley before Langley says, But here's the interesting part that completely changes the narrative of this entire story, and that's the fact that there's 17 seconds prior to this controversy happening where the United Airlines employee actually gets hit before Langley gets hit. So obviously this video is taken mid-fight, so it's really difficult to tell who started this, but we have some information in regards to what happens to both of these individuals. But let me show you the first 17 seconds. So you can see there was a decent amount of back and forth between Langley and the United Airlines employee before anything else happens. I can't really tell who starts it. It looks like Langley may have thrown the first punch in the extended clip. I can't tell if that's really a punch or a slap before the United Airlines employee slaps him back, and then it escalates. I honestly want to give credit to the United Airlines employee because Langley rocks him in the beginning of this video. And if that was me, that would be enough for me to say,
okay, maybe I should back away from this fight.
But the man gets back in there and tries to fight Langley, and honestly doesn't end up so well for him, but I give him credit for at least having the courage to step up to a man that already rocked him. Now ultimately the result of this is very fascinating because it seems like both of these individuals got screwed as a result of this exchange. As a result of this, according to TMZ, law enforcement says that the passenger, which is Brandon Langley, got arrested but not the employee, despite the passenger's claim that he didn't throw the first punch. Now, in the shortened clip, we saw that the passenger didn't throw the first punch. In the longer clip, it seems like he threw the first punch, but again, if you're someone watching a fight, the odds of you getting footage from the very beginning of the fight are very slim to none. I mean, typically any normal human being would take a look and say,
oh, something's going down.
Probably pull out their phone mid-fight and then take video of the incident. But regardless, it gets a little bit more insane here because the cops say that the passenger, ex-NFL player Brandon Langley, was arrested and charged with simple assault. Langley was a third-round pick in the 2017 NFL draft out of Lamar University and is currently playing for the CFL's Calgary Stampeders. A spokesperson for United tells us the employee has been fired following the incident. Now, this is no surprise. If you're on Twitter at all or on social media at all, an airline's biggest fear is someone exposing these individuals on social media. I don't know if you guys heard of the Frontier Airlines incident where a flight was stuck for about 28 hours and they weren't giving these passengers water or anything like that. It was just a huge mess. But historically, there's been a lot of these instances of airlines just mistreating their passengers, and this is the airline's biggest nightmare. They have no choice but to fire this individual. Now, in addition to this, Brandon Langley's team actually released a statement saying that the Calgary Stampeders Football Club is aware of the reports concerning Brandon Langley. The team is currently looking into the matter in order to learn the full details and will have no further comment until the investigation is complete. Honestly, I think this is a great way for Brandon Langley to jumpstart his celebrity boxing career. I mean, he could easily leverage this viral moment into boxing other celebrities. I mean, imagine Brandon Langley versus like Darren Williams or like Frank Gore. But needless to say, this was an absolutely absurd situation that I wanted to cover for you guys. It's good to be back. I missed making content for you guys. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all this. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.